ToonGrin.com.
I'm Princess Twilight Sparkle, and this is my home, Equestria. A land filled with magic, music, whoa! And most importantly, friendship. Life is perfect. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Ryan, no!
Hello and welcome to Watchin' Stuff, the show about watching stuff. And after a egregious hiatus because of wisdom teeth problems, we're back. Yes, we're back. Yes, and we're back with the classic.
Well, a movie based on a classic series that was remade and made into a huge fandom.
We're talking about the My Little Pony movie, and okay, so everyone get ready to get into the comments section. This movie sucks.
It sucks really bad.
So start the flame. Man, it's getting hot in here. Is this a flame war or is it just me starting? Oh, did I say that? Yeah, no, let's be honest, guys. This movie sucks. And the reason for it sucks is very simple. It's
not really sort of a theatrical movie in a sense.
Yeah, it's not really cinematic.
Nah. On a very base level, it's a very bare-bones narrative that would have been better suited for a two-parter in the actual TV series.
Well, okay, so the plot is a new toy shows up to fuck up everything. And the new toy is a unicorn with a broken horn named, and I have to look this up because I don't even remember the character, Tempest?
Yeah, Tempest.
Yeah, okay, so the new toy named Tempest shows up with a broken horn, and she's super butthurt because she can't do magic. So the idea is that she's going to abduct the four princesses, Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, Princess Candace, and Princess Twilight. She's going to abduct them and pull out their magic, and oh, you think that's it? No, it turns out she works for a bad guy called the Storm King, so she's a fucking lackey. So that's another primary problem with the movie, is that the lackey is the primary antagonist, not the primary antagonist is the primary antagonist.
Yes, but Princess Twilight and her gang of friends are able to escape Mrs. Brokenhorn and have to go see the Queen of the Hippogriffs.
Of course the main six escape, because you would actually have drama if you actually had one of them maybe taken out, but the main six are where the money is, so you can't have that.
Yeah, so now the whole movie is basically them going to the Hippogriff kingdom to basically try to find some way to basically save their kingdom from being enslaved.
The toys are going to go somewhere else where toys are to meet new toys. Stop the new toy.
Okay, I'm not that as harsh as basically to say, look, just toys, because it's obviously a toy commercial. It's obviously that.
Yeah, but dude, there's no reason. There's no reason for this not to be better.
Of course. But I just want to state sort of like my perspective of the whole thing. Like, I don't really watch My Little Pony. Like, the biggest influence that I get from My Little Pony is like watching other reviewers do it, like Silver Quill and Dr. Wolf. Like, I get more of the analytical analysis of it, and so I appreciate My Little Pony from that perspective, even though I haven't really watched the show.
It's a good show. That's the thing, though, like, the show's good on narrative, good on characterization, good on animation. And the thing is, yeah, the animation's good in this, but it's not really even that spectacular because they mix CGI with traditional, and it's very apparent.
Which instantly makes it really jarring as a visual thing. Like, the best animated scenes in this are when they're, like, the whole scene is drawn.
Well, that's the thing that gets me, too, where it's like, they CGI, like, the backgrounds for certain scenes. And I guess the idea is like, oh, but we could do like a wide camera sweeping shot if we CGI it. And it's like, yeah, but it looks like crap. So it doesn't matter if you can do like wide camera sweeps or something because you're doing it in a computer. It looks bad. Like the setting looks fake.
Yeah, it just looks like
the character models are drastically
like standing on the set.
Yeah, it's drastically disconnected. And it's funny because, like, if you watch old movies, like if you watch Disney's Alice in Wonderland, you could tell, like, during the Tweedledee and Tweedledum scene, it's clear that they're moving cells on a painted background, but there's a way more of a charm to it because it still feels way more consistent Because CGI looks like the coloring, the shading, everything about CGI makes it look dramatically different than what is happening in the foreground.
Yeah, if it's all CGI, if it's all drawn, then it's at least consistent with one another. When they try to mix both of them, you need to do it really well, or it becomes just a visual disconnect.
Yeah. There's it doesn't feel like, it feels like the characters aren't touching anything. It feels like they're not connecting to anything. It just feels like that they animated the character cells and then like put them on top of something. But because like the painted ones, it still kind of works. Yeah. When it's CG, there's just a disconnect because your brain is trying to put together like the flatness of a character model that's done clearly in like a kind of Flash program, trying to put it together with something else that's like in a Maya-like program, and there's nothing that connects it very well. You could see this is apparent when they do the anime. When anime does this, you could tell when they use CGI in an anime where it's like the rest of the anime is like hand-drawn, but then you see like a CGI car or something, and it's very apparent.
Yeah, you can see it in anime, you can see it in a lot of the recent Scooby-Doo movies, like my favorite bits, like when they CGI doors opening. Like, that looks totally natural, right?
Just couldn't be fucking bothered with actually like a just animating a door opening.
Yeah, but animation for this movie is the least of its worries in a lot of sense.
Yeah, like, it's just, narratively, it's really weak because... First off, again, you have like a big team movie. And team movies, you know, every character... A team movie means every character needs to be important.
They're not all important. Not in movies.
Like, well, not especially not in this one. And the thing is about the idea of like importance, it obviously varies when it comes to... It comes to the fact that it's like, you know, how important do they need to be? And it's like, well, every person should sort of have a crowning moment of awesome to an extent.
Yeah.
Just to a degree. And, like, not every character needs a narrative or a storyline for themselves, and that's fine. You don't need to do that. The idea that, like, Twilight needs to save Ponyville and that she's got her friends to help her, that's fine. That angle actually works very strongly in its favor. But the problem is that the main six suck. Other than Twilight, who's the only one with a sense of urgency, everyone else treats this as casual as fuck.
Yeah, not just like the whole of Equestria is being overtaken by an evil dictator.
Two of the members of the main six have family in Ponyville, and they don't even care. Like, Rarity and Applejack have no semblance of caring that their little sisters are trapped back in their home. That they're being, like, oppressed.
Yeah, nothing. There's no sort of urgency in either of their dispositions to basically say, like, oh my god, we gotta do this to save our family too. No, nothing. It's just like a regular adventure for them.
Yeah, they treat it like it's nothing. That's the thing. The characters aren't treating it like it's important. And I feel like that reflects on to me as an audience member, is that it's like, not even you realize that, like, this matters. Like, that's how cynical it is. It's like, even the characters are like, yeah, we do this crap all the time.
Yeah, it's sort of, that's sort of like, it's one of the keys of why it just doesn't feel like a cinematic movie. Because in like a more theatrical setting, there's like much more bigger stakes to it. But like in the My Little Pony show, like we've had like big events happening. Like in one of the most recent finales, we had like a Dragon Ball Z fight scene and all that, and basically destruction of Ponyville and all that.
With the better villain.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was actual weight behind it. There was actual destruction, pain, and cause and effect and such. Like you don't really get that here. Like you get, like you get the cause.
Dude, after the initial plot is started by Tempest, we leave Ponyville anyway, so we don't even really get to see too much of the negative impact.
Yeah, it's like nothing's really changed when they make it back
like
there. It's just more people are in chains and bondage gear.
Yeah, that's really it. Like the Lady Gaga pony. Jesus Christ, was that sad? Like the Lady Gaga looking pony was in a cage and singing, and that's like, oh, there you go.
It's like, oh no, our star attraction for this movie.
I think what really would have helped this movie, and this came to me because I saw the Dragon Ball movie, Resurrection. Was it Resurrection of F, the one with Frieza?
Yeah.
And in that movie, Frieza mentions a line of dialogue where he says, "My father always told me never to cross Beerus, the god of destruction, or to fight Majin Buu, because Majin Buu is so powerful." Now, if you're a DBZ fan, you understand who Majin Buu is, you understand he's the most powerful antagonistic figure that they've come across, so you understand his importance. In the first movie, Battle of Gods with Beerus, he ends up stealing pudding, and he gets into a fight with Beerus, and Beerus whoops the crap out of him, and that shows you how powerful Beerus is, that he just destroys Majin Buu in a fight like he's nothing.
Yeah, it shows a power ceiling.
Yeah, we see where, like, their power range is at. So then when it comes to, like, the Frieza one, Frieza mentions, like, never to fight Majin Buu, and he just doesn't show up to the fight for no reason whatsoever, no narrative purpose. And it completely undermines the fact that it's like, well, how powerful can Frieza be? We haven't seen, like, a real, like, oh, Frieza could beat all the Z fighters. Yeah, well, no shit, they're all losers compared to Goku and Vegeta anyways. That's the normal rule, though.
Yes, and the My Little Pony movie basically sort of attempts this, with Tempest taking out the three princesses, but that doesn't really say much, because the three princesses are usually taken out of the story in most of the finales and such.
Well, they're useless. Yeah, they're useless in the show anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But the fact that, like, she shows up, she doesn't even have magic, and she curb stomps three of the princesses in a span of like 2 minutes. Yeah, she has like these crystals. She basically has the freeze balls from the animated Smurf film with what's his name, that Gargamel had.
Yeah.
And, like, she tosses these crystals, and it crystallizes Candace, Luna, and Celestia really quickly. Like, no challenge whatsoever. And to me, you really wanted to build this character up, have her take out Discord.
Yeah, because Discord appears nowhere in this movie, and he's supposed to be,
he shows up in the closing credits.
I don't think that counts.
Which destroys the whole movie, because the entire time it's like, oh, we vaguely have a sense of urgency. Just have Fluttershy call for Discord.
Yeah, because for those who don't know who Discord is, he's basically a reality bender.
Yeah, he's basically a god. He's like a chaos god who can do anything and everything, whatever he wants, at the snap of his fingers. And
one of the main characters is friends with him.
Yeah, and Fluttershy, one of the main six, is his best friend.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for her to call, and the logic would be like, well, it wouldn't be traumatic if she called him. Well, that's my point, though. You wanted drama? Have Tempest take him out. Show how badass she is. Oh, she took out the other three. Who the fuck cares? Any of us could take out the main three. They usually suck.
Yeah, they are usually all taken out by the series bad guys. They have to be, because that's basically just how the narrative goes.
Yeah, that's the metatextual part of it, where it's like, look how great Tempest is, she took them out. No, the TV show, they do that shit all the time. Because they're not the main six, so of course the main six are gonna be fine. And then the main six suck in this because they don't had anything on this journey. Matter of fact, on this journey, 2 of them cause problems for their fucking quest.
Yes, it's just, oh, God. But, yeah, going back to just basically the narrative portion, like, the whole theme of this movie is trust.
Kind of.
Yeah, well, basically that's just sort of what the writers are really trying to go for, at least. As they're just going to, like, place... Yeah, they're going to place to try to find basically the most untrustworthy people and just learn, like, trust with them and such.
Yeah.
Like, even Twilight at the very beginning of the movie is just like, oh, I want to make all the friends and such so I can trust them dearly. And she's the initial one that doesn't trust anybody after everything that's happened.
Yeah, but she's the only one that feels like a person, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like here's the chain of events, because it really is a beat for beat setup. They're setting up for a party. Tempest, the new toy, shows up, takes out the 3 useless ones. The main 6 go on a journey. They go through the Dune Sea of Star Wars. They end up at Mos Eisley's Cantina a la Star Wars. So much so that it's very blatant if you're a Star Wars fan. They run into a cat.
Yeah, a brony convention.
Like, yeah, they run to like a weird brony convention where everybody's obsessed with wanting to collect them and put them in cages, which, I don't know what that says about your audience, that you're like taking a shit on the guys who buy your toys.
That feels really, really off.
It's that awkwardness, like if you ever watched the Ghostbuster 2016 film, where it's like, there's such an aura or atmosphere of like fuck men that when you watch it you're just sort of like, huh.
I don't feel very wanted here.
I think I will take my leave. Don't talk to me or my Canadian friend ever again. And then we just leave.
Yeah, and then we just got that our cat swindler friend meeting up with the ponies.
Don't you love, by the way, like, I'm sure kids were surprised by his turn, but if you're grown up and you know this trope, you could call it a mile away.
Yep. But even with that, we can just read this. Like, the movie still doesn't do it all that well, because it basically sort of makes the whole shift sort of like disconnected from the overall story with Tempest. Like,
well, it doesn't. Well, there's that, but like even with the cat character, well, how's it go, WHYBOY? Where it's like they go to this place. There's a song because that's for the soundtrack. That's important.
Yeah.
He sings. He's obviously going to betray them. All of a sudden, Rarity puts buttons on his coat and stitches up his sleeve, and he's just like,
Instant
"Oh,
friends.
I feel bad."
Instant friends.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it fucking took. Holy shit! MLP, surprisingly enough, is actually far more better written than this.
Yeah, really. Like, maybe just spend a little bit more time developing a friendship, not just buttons.
Then after the cat, they escape and they're trying to get onto an airship. And as they try to run across a rope in hopes to get on the airship, the retarded one, Pinkie Pie, who somehow is dumber in the movie than she's ever been, jumps on the rope and nearly gets everybody fucking killed as she almost plummets to her death, and Twilight has to save her. Then they get on the boat, they meet pirates, have a song.
Yeah,
now they're friends.
Saying, like, you're awesome and such. You should be swindling pirates and all that, because those are the most trustworthy people of all.
I don't know why this show was like, pirates. You know, pirates aren't endearing people, right? You know, they're rapists and murderers, right? Like, that's... What is this weird thing where it's like, oh, pirate, that's like an adventurer. No! Being a pirate is not the same as being like Indiana fucking Jones!
Well, let's just take it more for the romanticized pirate thing, because in the sort of adventure books, a lot of pirates are basically made like, oh, we're swashbuckling adventurers. We won't dare hurt people.
Yeah.
And that's what these people are, but we really know nothing about the pirates. Rainbow Dash is just like, hey, you guys gotta be awesome now. Let me have
All
a
we know
song
about the
that.
pirates... All we know about the pirates and their desperate attempt for the writers to build up Storm King like he's actually a viable threat or a villain is that they're like, yeah, we serve the Storm King or else.
Well, yeah, we're shipping cargo and all that.
They sell toys of the Storm King. Do people buy toys of their dictator? Like in Germany, do they buy toys like bobbleheads of Hitler?
I just imagine little German with just a little action figure Hitler.
With the real saluting action. And you like pull down the other arm and he just goes, Heil Hitler! And like the little arm goes up and you're like, yeah! With the Hail Hitler action. No, but like that's the thing though, where it's like, everything's so disconnected because then after like they meet the pirates are going to kill them. They sit down and have dinner because they get one lunch break. So for some reason their personalities completely change. And then all of a sudden they have one song and they're BFFs. And then afterwards Rainbow Dash is like, this calls for a sonic rain boom, herp-a-derp. And then she performs a sonic rain boom. The bad guys are like, they're over there. That's where they're hiding.
I mean... That's all contrived. Even Twilight is just saying, no, don't do that.
And then as they plummet out, like the way they escape is they jump out of the airship, and as they're plummeting,
they don't jump out of it. Twilight basically makes them all jump out because she's the one with the brain that actually says like we have to escape.
Yeah, well then like as they start plummeting, for some reason as they're clearly falling to their death, Rarity stops to check herself in the mirror, which is really out of character for a dramatic situation. And while they're falling, Pinkie Pie just starts laughing. Did like every writer forget Pinkie Pie's not mentally challenged or something? For fuck's sake, why is she laughing? Her and her friends are gonna fucking die! I know she's the hyper quirky character, and that's fine, but use that to an advantage for Christ's sake. Don't make it a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly.
You make her look like an idiot. I know sometimes she does laugh in Danger in the Show, but, like, the danger in the show is never really as prevalent as, like, falling to your death.
Yeah, exactly. And so Twilight saves the day there, and they make it finally to the Hippogriff Kingdom, where where they discover the new toy line. They are basically all seahorse ponies.
Yes, because that was in the original show, so it's surprisingly how long it took for them to actually get to those toys.
Yeah.
And at this point, after the cat tried to sell them into slavery, yeah, we kind of overlooked that. The cat was going to sell them into slavery.
Yeah, something's completely disconnected, though, from anything that was happening.
Well, even the fucking movie just, like, treats it like, oh, so he was just going to sell us into slavery.
He's going to sell us into slavery? Bop, that villain's gone. Bring back in Tempest.
Like, why are we treating that so casual? This guy was going to sell us into slavery, and, like, we don't even care. We just make friends with him afterwards. Are you kidding me?
It's like, you were trying to sell us. What's wrong with you?
And you're trying to sell us into a lifestyle that would have us be both emotionally and physically abused. Yeah.
But you sewed buns onto me, so now we're all better now.
Fucking buttons! Look how shiny my buttons are!
Ooh, they're so shiny. I'm a cat, so I like shiny things.
Yeah, the cat's a fucking idiot too. And then, like, they get to the Seahorse Kingdom, and by this point, Twilight is done. She's shutting this shit down.
Like,
so
she knows she needs to save Equestria, and she is just determined to do that because she's already been tricked by basically everyone they came across and been thrown onto like a shit show of magnitude proportions. Mostly thanks to her friends.
Yeah, mostly thanks to her, the main six. So she's so fed up with this nonsense that it's like, by the way, it's like Twilight became, it's like she was meta acting.
Yeah.
Like. Okay, in role-playing, there's a thing called, like, I think it's called, like, metagaming. It's where you as a person know something, but your character in-game doesn't, and you try to use that outside information to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Dungeon Masters don't like it when you do that, because it does break the immersion of the game.
Yeah.
In this, it's like Twilight became self-aware. Because she suddenly looks at her friends and she's like, why don't you hang out with the princess? As if to say, like, sing this stupid bitch a song and distract her. And while all these idiots are listening to these dumb songs, I'm gonna jack the magic pearl that turns people into stuff. Because this is the weird thing. There's this magic pearl that these hippogriffs had, and they turned themselves into seahorses and dove into the ocean with their kingdom to get away from the Storm King. Which, first off, brings the question, if this Storm King is so prevalent that he's, like, oppressing kingdoms, why has information not spread? How has Equestria never heard of it? The two big god princesses of this universe live in that fucking kingdom!
Yeah, why didn't Celestia know about that? Just telling Luna basically, go to the Hippogriff Kingdom, they'll definitely save us, even though their whole kingdom has been destroyed for a long time now.
It must have been a long time, because when you get to their kingdom, it's in ruins. That implies, like, for years this has been prevalent.
Yeah, and so I guess Celestia and Luna were just doing nothing.
Well, I mean, they're not ponies, they're fucking hippogriffs.
Oh god, those disgusting hippogriffs.
I mean, they're like, what, half horse and half bird? What the fuck?
And also kind of half-black stereotype.
Only the mom.
That is true.
I don't even think it was intentional. It just, like, awkwardly came off where it was like, doesn't this feel kind of stereotypical? Like, the way she's...
Yeah, her mannerisms and such.
Yeah, like, just her mannerisms, something about it's like, this feels like something somewhat of like a stereotypical, like how they'd write this character if it was portrayed by a black person or something.
Yeah, this is sort of like disconnected from the point you were saying before, like how Twilight's taking the pearl and such, but the princess character, like, that's almost the most beautifully stupid scene of the movie. Like how the Princess Hippogriff is basically all sad and alone, just like, I don't really have any friends down here. Will you guys hang out with me, other ponies?
It doesn't even make sense. If your kingdom's been down here for years, are you friends with nobody in your kingdom?
And removing that, you're asking them to basically spend time with you when their entire kingdom's been enslaved and you just said no to them for helping.
Well, yeah, no, like, that's the whole point. They came here to ask for help. This pearl could help them. The queen flat out drops a no bomb on that. Like, no, it's not going to happen. This thing is important to us. To which, like, she's like, what if the Storm King gets it? Which, again, this movie is awkwardly building up this villain who only showed up for about maybe 2 minutes in an in a scene early in the very first act, and that was it. There's a scene where Tempest contacts him through a cell phone joke with like a magic potion. They call it spell service instead of like
something like that.
Instead of cell service, and like she talks to him for like all of like 2 minutes, and he's gone. He doesn't show up for the rest of the movie. Everything is solely based on Tempest basically being the main antagonist. And everywhere they go, it's like, but the Storm King. You can't build up an antagonist that doesn't have a presence. That's not how you tell a story.
Yeah, exactly. Like, have been other movies like The Never-Ending Story, which sort of builds up the presence, even though it basically never really fully shows up until the end of the movie. Like, that's completely fine.
Yeah, but the nothing was like a force of nature.
In the foreground, the Storm King's in the background, and you're trying to say, like, oh, the Storm King back here is the bigger threat. When Tempest is the one that's really doing the things that are causing the most trouble in the story.
Yeah, like, it's basic storytelling, cause to effect. Who took out the princesses? Tempest. Who's the one hunting down the main six? Tempest. Who's the one that's not in the movie the majority of the time? The Storm King.
Simple as that.
It's not fucking hard. It's not complicated. And the argument that we'll get to the argument bit. So like after Twilight has her friends sing a song to trick the idiot, she attempts to steal the pearl, fails miserably out of it. She gets booted. They all get booted out of the Undersea Kingdom, and then all of her friends chastise her for trying to steal the pearl. And even Pinky's like, she was gonna give it to us because they were trusting us. And
you didn't know that. You did not know that, Pinkie Pie. You didn't know this song would do anything like that.
Given the fact that one guy was gonna sell us into slavery, the other ones were initially gonna throw us off the fucking ship until we sung a song with them.
Yeah, none of them were trustworthy people. They just started trusting you for contrived reasons.
They trusted you because the plot needed to get to fucking A to B.
Yeah, you didn't spend enough time with any of them to basically form any sort of trust with them.
So, like, everyone chastises Twilight, which means everyone can go suck a dick. And then afterwards, they have the third act breakup because, goddamn, is anyone else, like, sick of this fucking contrived, like storytelling piece?
Oh, God, I'm so sad. If only I trusted people. But no. No. When
you did, you almost got sold into slavery!
Yet you were in the right to not trust them. It's a little bit weird for you to not be trusting in the Trust movie, but whatever. It's the most natural response to it. All the other ponies are not responding well. They're not responding to the whole horrible nature that their entire kingdom has been enslaved.
And again, 2 of them have little sisters. Little sisters, and they don't care!
Yeah, some of you might be saying the argument that like we're putting too much thought into this. No, we're talking about the narrative here. The narrative is their kingdom was enslaved and they're on this quest to basically save it. Why don't they treat it like this is a big deal to them? Why do they treat it like it's just, oh well, it's just another adventure, we'll get there anytime with just trust on our side?
It's like the characters are self-aware that's like, look, we're My Little Pony, villains aren't a threat, everything is like rainbows and fart blossoms and all this. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter when you get down to it. We all know that everything's going to turn out fine. Who really cares? Buy our toys.
But I think that sort of line of logic is such bullshit, though, because I know from the actual TV show that they actually had stakes in it. They actually had emotional moments and such. This, they ripped it out of it. They just say, like, trust, kids. You gotta trust your friends.
And then the best part. So Tempest is working for the Storm King, right? Well, her whole thing is friendship is dumb, trust is ridiculous. The fact is you need to look out for number 1. She gets a hilarious origin story that
oh my God, it's like such a beautiful mess of a Smash story.
She is the George Denborough of MLP. Like, I watched it. And when, like, Georgie, like, goes up to Pennywise and clearly isn't afraid of this, clearly horrifying clown, and then, what a shock, he gets eaten by the clown. The fact that, like, Tempest is, like, she's, like, a little kid, and she comes up to a sign, and all these signs are like, danger, bear, don't go in the cave.
Yeah,
she goes in the cave
and basically like, go get our ball in that weird cave there.
She goes in the cave, is mauled by the bear, and it breaks her unicorn horn, and then her friends ditch her, and she's like, and that's why I have trust issues. Why? Because you were an idiot?
What does that have to do with trust?
That had nothing to do with trust. The signs were all there. They weren't like hypothetical. There were literal signs that say like Ursa Major in this cave, do not enter. Hell, at least Georgie had the argument of like, well, the clown acted vaguely whimsical. You could kind of see maybe how he could be tricked by it. A little 6-year-old spots a clown that makes him laugh.
For her, there was clear signage basically saying like, don't go in here. And the friends didn't really say anything. Just like, oh, well, go in there. It's completely safe in there. They were just like, oh, go get our ball in there.
What should have happened is like, they go in there together, they see the bear, maybe they shove her forward and they run.
That is all about that is the trust of it. She trusts her friends will basically keep her safe, but then like push. Oh no! Broke off my horn because of them. That's broken trust.
What even happened? Like after her horn broke, she was still like a little filly.
Yeah,
what did her parents not give a fuck?
Yeah, they're basically just hanging out together. She like tries to like move the ball and such and makes it explode. And then the friends are just like, oh no, we don't want this crap. Let's go over to our other friend that we just found.
And that's her motivation. So this person who has trust issues, who believes friendship is stupid, puts her trust in a villain.
Yeah, complete trust in it. And look, surprise, surprise, Storm King betrays her.
What?
Oh!
Are you writers so stupid that you don't realize what the fuck you're even writing? I don't want to be a dick attacking anybody directly here, but you guys are idiots. You can't have a character make the argument of like, oh, I don't trust anybody, but I trust my boss to give me what I want. Why? Your whole thing is the lack of trust.
Yeah, this whole movie's about trust, and you're using trust wrong.
How is it you have one concise thing that you need to use as the theme, and you fuck it up?
Like throughout the movie, it's like they don't really understand how like you form a trusting bond.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't work on the TV show for 7 fucking seasons.
It's because I'm sure they had like dozens of episodes about trust, but this one is just like they never had trust as a moral or theme at all.
And the thing that gets me when you get down to it, why even have the Storm King? Like, Tempest could have just been the main big bad. She wants the 4 princesses because it's the only way to restore her horn. That was the plot anyways. Adding the Storm King is adding extra steps. It's like that bit in Rick and Morty with the power battery. That just sounds like slavery with extra steps. This is just like shitty villain writing with an extra step. Take the Storm King.
You didn't need an extra step. She just said like, I don't trust anybody. I want my horn back. So now with my horn back, I want to take over everything. That's just step. All
Actually,
you needed was that.
Could we also establish at least, because they don't do this in the movie, could they have established that, like, healing magic didn't restore her? Because they don't do that. Like, the what's her name? Zecora, the fucking zebra, like, medicine woman zebra, she's in the fucking movie. She doesn't have a prominent role. She's just a background character. But Zecora's whole thing is that she's like a medicine woman. She's a healer. We've established healers exist in this mythology of this fucking franchise. You need to at least address this shit. Hell, if she even stole, like, just Discord's power, it's like, I stole Discord's power. He's got no magic in him. But that's not enough. I need more magic to recover my horn. Make it something genuinely, like, urging that if a unicorn breaks their horn, it's genuinely tragic. It changes them entirely.
Yeah, because we haven't seen, like, many instances of unicorns breaking their horn, right? In the show and such. Like,
not to my recollection, no.
Yeah, like
matter of fact, there are fucking unicorns in the show who could just steal other people's, like, cutie marks.
Yeah, so a unicorn breaking his horn could be this movie's thing. You could really show that sort of breaking could basically cause, like, huge ramifications. That could have been one of the movie's, like, new things that could have been put more mythos into the actual show and such.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
And then they have the balls to end it. You know, it was really inside of you all along. Go fuck yourself with this! Why is like every kid movie pulls this shit? If you believe in yourself, things can happen. Well, I believe we can have a successful YouTube channel and we're still not fucking there. So fuck you. Fuck you. I'm so sick of shit with kids doing this bullshit ending as if it's hand wavy and it works. It doesn't. That is falsified hope.
It really is.
Like, having faith in yourself is one thing, but you need to achieve. You need to actualize and visualize to get to the fucking goal. You can't just passively aggressively be like, oh, well, you know what? You had it inside of you the whole time. No, she fucking didn't. Tempest couldn't control her magic proper. It was highly destructive because her horn works like a tuning fork to finite and focus the magical energies. Without it, she's a danger to herself and to fucking others. You can't
That's
then
why
passively...
she exploded everything.
Yeah, that's why she blew shit up when she used magic. And instead they just treat it where it's like, yeah, I guess you had it inside of you the whole time, Tempest. We're friends now. Roll credits. Rock bottom. Fuck this movie. And I'm gonna probably review it in more detail. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. We kind of destroyed it here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can just give it a rock bottom because it, in a lot of sense, like the horribleness of it, it's just more just like it's a generic sort of kids movie.
But
it's
you
just
can't
the
tell me
generic '90s movie problems and such.
You can't
it's
tell
still
me
a
though.
Terrible movie,
Yeah,
obviously.
Like you can't tell me though. Like for what the show is, for its legacy of 7 years going strong, it's getting an 8th season. For something that's been this powerfully going this well, that has had the capability of getting a demographic they didn't even know they could get. The fact that it overcame the stigma of like, oh, it's just a show for little girls. But it's not. Plenty of adult males like this. Plenty of adult females like this. It found a whole new audience. It's unprecedented compared to other shows out there. You're gonna tell me though, like, it isn't the least bit insulting that it's this fucking shallow?
Oh no, I feel that in that case it's very shallow. It's like the bare bones of what it could have been. Like everything that we discussed so far, like themes of trust, like actually getting the characters basically work together to a goal. Having Tempest just be the solo villain and such. There are so many easy fixes that would have made this movie like leagues better. It may not have been like the movie of the year sort of quality, but it would have at least been a more solid story that would have been actually about trust and friendship and all that. Right now, it's fake. This is fake trust. Fake friendships. And it's just shallow.
Everything's fucking artificial as all can be. Because they have to get everything. It's like, here's A, well, we need to get to B. Doesn't matter if we find the actual recipes to get to B. Just fucking get to B.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll just say, like, in the broadest scope, it is just basically like, if you just took an episode of the TV show, a really poorly written episode of this, basically placed it out on theaters. So in that sort of sense, I would just say it's just a crud chowder. It's not worth your time to see this, but it's definitely not. If you watched it, it's definitely not going to be the worst thing ever.
I would argue this is by no means the worst film of 20. It's not even close.
Not even close.
It's just that with its legacy, I expected it to be better. I expected with the fact that it's built a mythology, it's crafted this uniqueness, that it's of Jesus Christ, my dogs are going 5 kinds of ape shit right now.
Yeah, they just hate this movie too.
Yeah, see, that's what this you don't understand. LLP overcomes everything. It overcomes like gender and race and age group. Even my dogs realize, fuck this movie.
It crosses
how
the
bad
species barrier.
It crosses the species barrier, which is weird because dogs are kind of like pets in MLP, which is really weird.
Kind of like how Spike is in this movie, because like every other MLP episode, fuck Spike.
He's just a little bitch. They would have been like, they should have just cut out Spike. He should have just been captured. There'd be no reason. That could have given Twilight motivation to try harder. That could have easily have then given Rarity to save her sister, Applejack to save her sister, Rainbow Dash to save Scootaloo, who she's really bonded with as sort of an older sister kind of mentor character.
Fluttershy to save her animals.
Fluttershy to save her animals, and I don't know, Pinky to save a cake or some shit. Who the fuck cares?
That would actually be funny.
Like,
just all the family members and such basically all captured, and she just wants the cake.
Well, like, she could have had her family, like, if you just established her family's visiting and then her family was taken, it's that easy. Again, like, the ability to resolve a lot of the problems in this movie, it's like one thing, like, just write this and it's fixed. Yeah. Also, it would have helped, it probably would have helped if it wasn't a forced musical.
Yeah. I was looking forward to a musical aspect because there hasn't been really any good musicals this year. Like, at all. But this is just like the cheesy sort of like every musical every 5 minutes sort of thing.
Yeah, like the musical's just there solely to be on a soundtrack so the kids can buy it, to sound vaguely pretty, and to have animation go to it. But narratively, there's no real point to it. Like,
Yeah,
you have a good movie like Mulan, who has like, I'll Make a Man Out of You, which is a narratively driven song. Yes, it's a song in the movie, but you see
But
that
it's a montage of all the moments, basically just showing how Mulan grows.
yeah, that's the thing.
as a
Like
warrior.
narratively, there's a point to it. She's becoming tougher. She's becoming more self-reliant. She's connecting with her fellow soldiers. There's a point to it when you get to it. It's like how in Frozen they have songs, but the songs really don't do anything. They don't move the narrative. It's just there to be pretty and have animation go to it.
Yeah, and that just makes it more disappointing because it just feels like we're just wasting our time in this point where we could just see more of the narrative and have more things build up upon one another.
Exactly. I mean, I could relent and go crud chowder because like when the animation is good, it's good. And I do have to honestly give it points on the simple fact that Tara Strong's there, Ashley Ball is there, Andrea Liebman's there, Tabitha St. Germain is there. They kept the voice actresses from the TV show, and that's a big deal to me.
Yeah, and
because
I'll say all the special guest stars, they do a good job in whatever role they have.
I
They
do
may
think-
not have deep characters, it's just like they do good voice acting roles.
like, yeah, Emily Blunt as Tempest is good. Lee Schreiber as the Storm King, despite being barely in it, he's actually funny. Like, I bet if the Storm King was actually a prominent villain, he would have been great.
Yeah.
But he's not prominent, so he sucks. Because we
So
don't
he
get
should have been
it.
running out.
Yeah, the only character that sucks is Michael Pena's character, Gruber, the henchman to the henchman. That all he does is wisecracks. He doesn't even hench.
Yeah. And you told me like the worst thing about it is like all of his lines are basically ad-libbed.
Not all of them, but they did say like they had scripted stuff, but they let him. They said like it even says on like Wikipedia, it says just go and be funny. And it's like, yeah, you do realize though as a director, it's your job to keep them on point because then at some point it turns into rambling. This is the Ghostbusters 2016 movie problem all over again, where Paul Feig, the asshole that he is, came in and was like, yeah, just do whatever the fuck you want. No, you're a movie. You have to tell a story.
Yeah.
You have to establish characters. That's how it works.
Ugh.
Don't like be like, oh, just treat it all casual, fuck, and then expect us to pay money for it.
God damn it. Like, yeah, that is the worst thing about it. Like, there's structure to humor in these sort of movies. You can't just say, oh, just do whatever you want. Like, even when Robin Williams ad-libbed as the genie in his movie, like, they stayed on point on what the genie was.
Yeah,
like
and the ad-libbing added to his character, though, because you establish that Genie is, like, quirky and energetic and enigmatic and has charisma, and that worked. Gruber, first off, Gruber has no reason to be here. Why the fuck does a henchman have a henchman?
Because it's more quirky comedy, I guess.
And he doesn't do anything. He's literally there to make, like, commentary, like, it's some kind of cake in the shape of a cup. It's a cupcake. Thanks, retard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you had cupcakes in your part of the world, too.
Yeah, no, I'll give you this. I can move it up to a crud chowder on the simple fact that we got the voice actors that are iconic back. They didn't pull that movie bullshit where it's like, fuck them, they're not celebrities.
Yeah, now we
Replace them.
gotta bring in like famous people, put it on top of the DVD box and such, because that's what gets kids in, like famous actors.
I'm so sick of that shit. Like every time like we have all those direct DVD movies you and I find, it's always like, look at all these famous people and Drake Bell.
Oh, because Drake Bell's the best one of them all.
He's the cat's pajamas and the bee's knees. So I'll concede to you, dude. I'll give it a crud chowder, but it is teetering
Yeah.
because
Teetering
it's still
on rock bottom.
it still deserved to be better.
It certainly did.
There's no reason it should have been this much of a mess.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And the part that really upsets me, that makes me sad though, is that if this doesn't do well, Hasbro might not try other animated films. And that sucks because it's like an animated Transformer movie. I would love another one. Because I'm just sick of
someone that's
Bay.
not Michael Bay.
Yeah, because he's just so fucking lazy.
Yeah, really.
Like, that's the thing, like, this has the potential because it's Hasbro. You could turn so many cool properties. Like, I've heard the rumors now, like, they're talking G.I. Joe, ROM Space Knight. There's supposed to be an animated Candyland movie in works, and it's gonna have Adam Sandler on it, so already it's terrible.
Oh, God. And, like, we have seen, like, properties, like, coming up, and there has been more faithful adaptations of a lot of things, like I still like to bring up like some of the animated Resident Evil movies. They're much more faithful to the source material, and they're animated because they're allowed to do a lot more than the live action movies could ever do.
Well, that's the thing where it's like, at the end of it, where it comes down to, I'm hoping for more because there's no reason we can't have something that's like the Lego Movie. That is, yeah, it's a product, but
it's a product with heart.
It's a product with heart, and it's fine that it's a product. We're not upset that it's a product. All this shit is products, but
like the DVD itself is a product.
The fucking movie itself is a product. But the fact is it doesn't mean just because it's a product, it can't have a heart to it, a core to it. And we're gonna get into that next time when we dive into the Lego Ninjago flick.
Yay!
Attaboy. We do appreciate you guys for stopping by. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell to get notifications of updates. If you guys want to support us, there's Patreon, there's TeePublic. Any of the money spent there goes and is funneled back into our show. Links are in the description below. Be sure to check out our VidMe. You can check that through our website, ToonGrin.com, because with YouTube being the way it is, it could take down videos at any moment. So we are guaranteed safety through VidMe, which is basically like old school YouTube being made by content creators for content creators.
So if you see any of our videos not on YouTube, then you can find them all on VidMe or on our website, ToonGrin.com.
There you go. It's that simple. And as always, remember, be sure to tune in
to ToonGrin.
Friendship is magic.
The comments are going to be magic in this video.
Oh, I really hope people actually like comment, and it's like I actually would love the hate comments at this point because we've had too many videos going quiet for way too damn long.
Yep, too many people are liking our videos.
Damn it!
We trusted you guys.
That was our fault. Did we learn nothing from the My Little Pony movie? Trust is bullshit. A cat might sell you into slavery.